You are watching A Moment in Crime, a product of the Vignette series produced by the True Crime Man's Dark Imagination YouTube channel.
Born out of wedlock in post-World War II Eichelborn, Germany in 1946, Bartsch's real name was Karl Heinz Sadrozinski. Bartsch's mother died of tuberculosis when the boy was only 5 months old, and thus, relatives placed him into an orphanage where he was adopted out to a professional animal slaughterer and his wife. At the age of 10, after adopting obsessive-compulsive behavior, Bartsch never played with other children, and he held himself in secluded isolation away from other children his own age. Bartsch attended a school that his parents deemed not too strict and moved him to a Catholic boarding school where he was molested as a bedridden child with fever. Bartsch murdered his first child when he was 15 years of age. The victim, Klaus Jung, was murdered in 1961. Bartsch's next murder took place 4 years later in 1965, when he viciously attacked one Peter Fuchs. Bartsch lured the victims, all younger than he, to an abandoned air raid shelter underground near the city of Bonn, Germany. Bartsch first gained submission from his intended victims by beating them. Then he tied them up, manipulated their genitals, sometimes masturbating himself, usually without an orgasm, then ending their lives through severe beating or strangulation. When the death was apparent, Bartsch would cut into the bodies, including decapitation, emptied the body cavities, breast and abdomen, and haphazardly dismembered the bodies. Sometimes the assailant would take whole pieces of the bodies or just small slivers. But autopsies noted that dismemberment did take place in every one in some way. Their remains were buried within the air raid shelter itself. In doing this, Bartsch hoped this would hide the remains from other children who may have made their way into the air raid shelter to play. By 1966, Bartsch still lived with his parents in Bonn, Germany, where he worked as a butcher's apprentice, undoubtedly following in his adopted father's occupation. Also in 1966, Bartsch murdered 2 more young boys, 12-year-old Ulrich Kohlweiss and 12-year-old Manfred Grossmann. He had intended to also murder one 11-year-old Peter Fries, but this resourceful young boy burned through his bindings when Bartsch left the air raid shelter with a lit candle behind him. With Fries's escape, authorities arrested Bartsch and learned of his terror chamber. There was nothing for Bartsch to do after his capture but to admit to the happenings in the air raid shelter. Bartsch would travel throughout his neighborhood in taxis to hunt for young boys. He wished for dominance, control, and sexual gratification, but he also operated with an eye toward evading capture or compromise. Bartsch's ultimate goal was to skin a child alive. The children, according to Bartsch, died too quickly in order for him to carry out this one main objective. In pursuing his perverted goals, Bartsch raided his parents' cash register at their business establishment. This drove his adopted parents into bankruptcy. Bartsch also frequented parish fairs in search of victims. Eventually, after enduring 2 trials, the court consigned him to a psychiatric hospital indefinitely, where the lack of psychiatric care due to the lessened number of staff at this particular institution took its toll and accomplished nothing with Bartsch and some semblance of rehabilitation. On April 28, 1976, while trying to prove that he obtained contrition through his asylum stay, Bartsch agreed to a medical procedure where doctors would castrate the convicted murderer, and therefore, Bartsch believed he would be released. During the surgery, doctors acknowledged that Bartsch passed away as a result of an error in the anesthetic protocols. Most would say that Bartsch got what he deserved after being the principal in the murder of 4 young children. Others would say that he should have been treated and then tried for his crimes. The fact of the matter is that Bartsch died at the hands of a doctor who accidentally killed patients in the exact same manner and was tried and convicted serving a 9-month probation. It appeared that the court, in sentencing the doctor to such a lenient term, tacitly agreed with the value of Bartsch's life as inhuman and lessened somewhat compared to his victims. Maybe they believe he got what he deserved as well. Hello everyone, this is Alan Gotro, your host of True Crime Man's Dark Imagination. If you would like to support our channel, you can become a member of Subscribestar. There are different levels, and subscribers get special privileges. Also, we do have a PayPal account. If you enjoy our work here, please think about subscribing. I will leave the links below in the comment section. We thank you very much for your viewing, and please stay tuned for future programs.